Hi, today we're going to do Khan Academy String Set 2, problem number 5. Problem says, given two strings, string 1 and string 2, find the length of the longest common substring. So we're given these two inputs, A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, and X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D. The output from these two inputs should be 4, because the longest substring is A, B, C, D from both. The time complexity of this will be solved in O m times n and space O m times n. This is because we are going to be iterating through the length of m as well as the length of n. And we're going to be storing the sums of each substrings in this kind of m by n matrix. So essentially what we want to do is create a matrix wherein our starting 0th row and column are initialized to 0, because we are going to use the diagonals of these zeros to add to our longest common substring length. So what does that mean? So it means that we are going to compare each one of the letters to each other, and if they look like each other, we're going to add a 1. So X and A, they do not look like each other, so we are going to put 0. X and B, they do not look like each other, put a 0. X and C, they don't look like each other, same. Here we see that X and X do look alike, so we want to add 1 and add the diagonal from this position, which is 0, so it'd be 1. We continue with Y, continue with Z. Move on here, we're doing the same exact thing until we reach 1, that is the 1 here. So Y and Y look alike, so we're going to add a 1 and then add its diagonal, which is also a 1, so it's 2. Y and Z is 0. We continue on, we go all the way down until we reach the Z. These two equal each other, so 1 and 1 plus 2 gives us 3. And then we go to A. We see that A and A share, so we put a 1, move to B, no, 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 no. Go to B, see that B and B share, add 1 plus 1 is 2. Continue. Do the same with C. See that C and C, that's a 1 plus its diagonal, which is 2, so we get 3. Go all the way down. Do the same thing with D. Add a 1 to its diagonal, we get 4. And that is how we get the longest common substring length of 4 as our output. So what that code actually looks like is we're going to create a result array. We're going to create a variable called longest, set it equal to 0. Then we're going to iterate through the first string, and we're going to iterate all the way through its string length. So it has a string length of 7, so we're going to iterate all 7 characters. And we're going to initialize the each index to be an empty array. Then we're going to loop through the length of string 2, and we are going to then create the first column and row to be initialized to 0. Because we say if I is 0 and J is 0, which basically means this area right here, then we're going to add a bunch of zeros. And that's what we do here. After we've done that to the first row and first column, then we start to then ask if our diagonal characters look like each other, X and A. If they look like each other, then we are going to add 1 to the diagonal 0, or the diagonal substring length, and then we're going to set our longest variable to be the math.max of the current length and the last longest length. Else, if they don't share anything in common, we're just going to set it equal to 0, as we did throughout this. Like for x, for example, we said, okay, if they don't equal each other, just set them to 0. But if they do, then we're going to then add a 1 onto it. And that is how you do this problem. Thank you so much.